So excited. I can't wait to share a lot of things with you all, my listeners, my supporters, my friends, my family. Thank you to Cousin Mike. Although Christmas is not about us, it's about Jesus. Let me make sure that everyone is clear about that.
We need to get back to the basics, I believe. And if we don't get back to the basics, because the world is moving so fast, we need to slow it down just a little bit.
We're just freestyling, y'all.
Now I have to ask you questions.
Oh, now you want to ask me questions?
I don't have any, but yeah.
Well, how you gonna ask me a question if you don't have any?
I make it up along the way.
Okay, make it up. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's take a minute to inhale and exhale. Red beans and rice or gumbo?
That's tough. I'm gonna go ahead and go with gumbo.
She knew she was loved. She knew that her mother did all that she could to help her, but something just did not click for her that she was worthy. Tori Talks, Season 2, y'all. Hey, y'all. What's up? Tori Talks is back for Season 2. Thank y'all for staying up to date with me and following me on Instagram and on YouTube. I now do video podcasts. So make sure you check that out on YouTube. And make sure you follow me wherever you get your podcasts. I'm on Anchor, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. So make sure you check me out. Follow me. Listen every week. I have some real good content this season, y'all. I can't wait for you to hear it. All right.
All right, let's see. Invite to join. Miss Tori. Let's see if that works. Man, thank you for coming back. Still trying to get to. Hey, there we go.
I don't know what's going on.
No, it's all good,
It's not
cuz.
working.
No, it's all good. I'm happy to have you here. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so tired. Oh my God. A lot happened to me. But
Yeah,
praise God.
I
That's
feel
all I
that.
can
I
say,
feel that.
cuz. That's all I can say.
I feel that.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. We had a couple people asking about the karaoke. We may have to bring that back one of
We
these days.
definitely have to bring it back.
Yeah, Megan
Definitely.
suggested connected karaoke.
Okay. Okay, Meg. I see you, girl.
So if y'all just tuning in, we are here. I'm here with Tori, the host of Tori Talks, and we're gonna talk some podcasting with y'all. So if y'all have any questions, please pop them in the chat, or I think it's a question button. Like I said, I'm a little old, so you might have to hit the question button, and we will get to your question. But we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Wait, before we get started, I know you're trying to do Riverside, but is there a way we can record this or no?
So I'm not too sure. I think we could pull the audio from this by possibly screen grabbing it.
Okay.
We'll figure it
If
out
not,
though. You know that
if
that's
not, look, if not, that's okay. Because, I mean, this is what we do anyway, so it's
this is
okay.
this is what we do. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Because how have things been for you? And I guess I want to start with how long ago did you start podcasting? Because I know you just made it through your first season, right?
So you want the answer of when I first wanted to podcast or when I
Okay,
first...
yeah. When did you first want to start podcasting?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but not just you, but the listeners. I was on your show January of 2021, and I know. And at that time, I said, I think I want to do this. Well, it took me a year to actually start it. And I
What?
think you kept saying, when I would listen to your podcast, you would say, you want to do it, all you have to do is start. And I just kept hearing that, kept hearing that. I'm like, okay, well, let me start. And I guess the fear of not really knowing the different programs and how to, how to really do it and things like that, that kind of hindered me or stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. But I just took a leap. I said, I'm just going to do it, even if it requires 2 minutes, and I just got better and better. And now Riverside, I don't know.
Oh shit, that's funny, but so real, man. I didn't realize that was a year ago. Wow,
Almost 2.
congratulations. Yeah, almost two
Thank you.
years.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to start? Like, what inspired you to just go for it?
I like to read and write, and I like to talk. And so
Yeah,
all of those things combined, I just said, well, you know what? Let me see what this is about. And really it allowed me to, or it allows me to get some thoughts out of my head and onto paper, and then even sharing it with others who may have the same thoughts or may think that, they may be thinking the same thing. So I just put it out there for them. And I always tell people, don't take my word at it, do what's best for you. But
yeah.
yeah,
How did you decide what you wanted your show to be about?
I don't know. And really, okay, so the show is about life, love, and the Lord. 3 L's. I don't know. I don't know. I know I wanted to talk about, like, I didn't want to put it in a box.
Yeah,
And so I wanted to talk about different things. And I'm a Christian, so I had to put Jesus in there somehow, some kind of way. Um, and I was like, let me just talk about what I know, life. I live life every day, and it may be different circumstances or different things that may pop up. So I didn't really have um, a well thought out process of deciding what my podcast will be about, but it works.
that's real. That's real. Um, what has been your biggest challenge during this time of like, because you just, like I said, you just completed your first season. What's been the
Yeah.
biggest challenge through all of it?
Like I said before, I think the fact that I'm not technologically savvy per se. Like, I have an iPhone, I have the Apple Watch, I have a MacBook, and so you would think that I know how to work all of these things. I don't. And so I'm gonna keep it real. And so I think that has been my biggest challenge. Um, because once I start talking, I can just talk and talk and talk. But I think, and let me say this, I remember the first 2 episodes that I recorded, or so I thought I recorded. They didn't record.
Man,
And I was like, I can't believe this. I thought I was just talking and talking, and it didn't record. But that's because I'm still learning how to really use this technology.
that's what's up, and I'm glad you're not letting you learning stop you from doing it, because
Yeah.
I see a lot of people get discouraged. So that's dope to hear that you still continue with doing it. What has been your biggest lesson in podcasting? Like, what has been your biggest lesson in doing it?
I think the biggest lesson, it might be something along the lines of do it even when you don't feel like doing it. And yeah, and that's a lesson because when you don't feel like doing it, and even if you don't look like you should be doing it, right? Because now I'm getting into video podcasting. And a lot of times, I mean, you can look at me right now. I don't look like I should be on anybody's camera. But when I don't look like it, I still get on and I still record and I still, whether it's by myself or with others. And another thing, my biggest lesson is it's not all about me. It's my podcast, yes, but it's not all about me. My schedule may not be my desired guest schedule. And so I have to be very flexible and, if I want them on my show, I have to be flexible. So I think those two things have been my biggest lessons in podcasting. And like I said, I've only been doing it. I have 10 and a half episodes out. The half is my little surprise episode that I gave a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many episodes did you do in your season? How many episodes did?
10.
Wow. How were you able to stay consistent?
In the beginning, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think, and part of that comes from not really knowing what I was doing. And so I was like, oh, they'll get it whenever they get it. But, and I'm just so thankful and grateful for the few listeners that I do have, right? They said, that was really good. When are you going to do another one? And I was like, it was good. So, big ups to the people who listened from day one. They encouraged me to become consistent because I don't want to lose the few listeners that I do have, yeah. So I would say, like just consistency is the main thing. And in being consistent, you're not being consistent for yourself. You're being consistent for others.
That's dope, cuz. And just so y'all know, if y'all tuning in, it's me and Tori of Tori Talks, the podcast. We are talking about podcasting. If y'all got questions that y'all would like for us to answer, I did get some questions sent in through my story.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, if y'all got questions for us, please send them in. Also, next week, on my birthday, on October 11th, I'm going to be releasing my podcasting course. So if you ever had any interest in learning how to podcast, I'm giving you literally everything that I have. No bullshit.
And he's dope, y'all. He's dope. So
I appreciate
if
that.
you want to get into podcasting, you don't want to miss it. And he's not paying me to say
that. Hey, what's good, T? I appreciate that.
He's not paying me to say that because really, if it wasn't for you, seriously, I probably would have given up after the second or third episode.
Wow.
Yeah, but because you are listening and responsive, that's why it was easier for me to keep going.
Wow, I appreciate that because I really do. What I really want, like what my goal is with what I'm doing is to get everybody to have their own podcast. Because we all have our own perspectives. We all have our own journeys. And like that should be the new form of social media. Like as opposed to the news, only one perspective, like this should be the new social media. What's going on, Lex Universe? Because I wanted to ask, because I'm going to answer them as well. But we had 2 questions come in. And like I said, to anybody tuned in, y'all can ask us questions as well. The first one is from Tahil. How do you determine which platforms will get people to listen and tune in?
Any and all. So right now I am, I don't even know the proper terminology, broadcasting on 4. So I have Anchor, 5 now that I've added YouTube. Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music.
Okay. That's what's up.
and now YouTube. And so, however I can reach somebody, I want to reach them. And when I send out my, my weekly notifications, I put all the different links because I don't know who's listening and how they're listening.
Yeah.
So I put all of the links for them. Cause I
Right.
send it
Yeah.
all.
I get that text every time an episode come out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I didn't pick whatever Anchor allows me to use. I'm using it.
That's real. Yeah, I'm the same way. I use every platform to get it out there. I know with Anchor you can see the stats of like where people are listening the most. For me, I think I get the most listenership on Apple because everybody got an iPhone.
Right.
But I'm starting to see that Spotify listenership pick up. And I just try to get it out anyway. I just started focusing on YouTube a little more because I'm starting to get into the video stuff. And like you said, getting it out to people in whatever way I can, however I can, because you never know where somebody
Exactly.
may only want to hear the audio, somebody may want to see the video. So I try to get it out in whatever way I can. Thank you, Tahil, for that question.
Thank you.
Our second question was from Yanni Blue. And that question is, what are your long-term strategies to grow your pod audience?
So I don't know. Like of course you want to have long-term, short-term goals, of course. But I've never thought of that because I do it as an outlet for me more so, I do it because I have something I want to say, or I know somebody who has something they want to say. So I'm gonna do it until there's nothing left for me to say.
Man.
But I guess thinking about it now, like how to get listeners up, I just keep sending it, sending out the links, advertising on, I'm saying advertising, maybe I shouldn't say that word, but utilizing Instagram and making sure that, more people are aware and ask other people to share it. Yeah.
That's real. And I agree with you. In the beginning, for me, it definitely was, I don't care who hears it. I just got to get this out for myself. And I think when I started to see how it was affecting other people and people were starting to let me know how much they appreciated what I was doing, it made me start focusing on getting it out more. So I started with the social media stuff, reaching out to people directly, like letting people know, hey, same thing you're doing, texting, hitting people up in their DMs, letting them know, hey, I got this. And also asking people to, support and sharing it for me. I would say at this level now, I'm trying to do more community building. So, and really going
Yeah,
back to
because you
what we
big time.
started. No, not at all. I ain't big time. I ain't big time yet.
You over there big time.
I'm trying to, but like what we were doing with the karaoke's, because I think sometimes promoting something like being so direct in promotion for me can feel like kind of gross. So I realized maybe putting myself out there more gives me the opportunity to promote what I'm doing as well. So it's like if we're doing a karaoke online, it's also drawing you to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm starting to move into like the email marketing and shit like that. And also like building with other people. It's hard to do this by yourself. And
Yeah.
I think I'm at that stage now. In the beginning, like I said, I wasn't worried about none of that. But as I'm trying to grow, I'm understanding like in order to grow, I'm gonna need some people to help me with this because I can't do it all by myself. So that's something to
Yeah.
consider as well.
Look, I did see a question on the screen, but it's
I,
I
I
don't know how
saw
to
one
put this
too.
stuff.
So we also had a question from that yoga dude that says,
Okay, I know I saw something.
"How have you changed from episode 1 to now?" That's a good question.
Yes. So I just released an episode this morning, 12 midnight. And I've recorded 3 other episodes already. So I'm trying to stay ahead. And those episodes are scary for me. And I'm saying scary because I was more vulnerable and more open than I was in the first season. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
So you're saying you were more vulnerable in the first season, or you're more vulnerable now?
The second season.
Okay.
Yeah. I was.
That's interesting.
And I think, and I don't want to give away too much, right? So I'm trying to be very careful with my words. I think the topics that were discussed so far really tugged at me. And so, and I'm also going through this process of not holding things in. Because I'm always a listener. I'm hardly ever talking. And, like I talk with my small groups, but when I'm listening, I'm just listening to whatever problems that person may have. And so I think so far, I'm more talking than listening. So, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Thanks. I will say his nickname. Thanks, James.
I think for me, in the beginning, I was more so trying to figure things out, like just figure life out. So I won't say I was, and maybe I was more vulnerable at that time in my life. And I think as I started to do it more, it started to make me a little uncomfortable about being so vulnerable on the podcast. And I not really drew back, but just set boundaries as to what I wanted to talk about and what I didn't want to talk about, because I realized, like we said, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than all of that. So, I needed to work through some things personally before sharing them publicly. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And as you were saying, you talk more. I'm kind of in that place now where I start to listen more on a podcast. Like I kind of get at least when I have a guest. But I will say, when I talk by myself, I feel confident enough to drive an episode by myself. The last couple of episodes I did by myself, I was able to do for like 30 minutes talking straight and really feeling confident about the content that was there. Like, when I stopped working with my co-host, I didn't think I was going to be able to hold it down by myself, to be honest with you. I was scared, but through time, I realized like, I could do this, and, still use it as a space to reflect and a space to share. But, I would say I've set boundaries on my vulnerability in my time from the first episode to now.
Let me ask you this, because this is something that I did in season 1. I asked, my followers, what topics do you want to hear? And they may have said something that I wasn't too familiar with. Not necessarily familiar, but I didn't know, the ins and outs. And I don't like to speak about something if I don't know the ins and outs. And so I would have to do homework before I talk about it. Do you shy away from things like that, or do you?
You know what? In the beginning,
in
the beginning, that's what I was about, like just doing what I know and what I want to talk about. But I think now I'm more open to doing research because I want to learn, but also I want my audience to learn about whatever it is that people want to talk about. Because, I don't know everything. So sometimes doing it, and you know what? Another person that does a podcast actually recommended it to me because they told me, you're naturally good. And I'm saying the same thing to you. Like, you're naturally good at what you do, but that little bit of research could take the conversation to a whole nother place. So
Right.
I would say definitely explore it, see how it feels, because the beautiful thing about it is that you decide how it goes. So it's like you may do it a couple of episodes and not like it and just scrap it completely, or you might get into it and it might start opening up your conversations and bring widening your audience. You know what I mean? So I'm open to research now, and I fought it for a long time. Just like even with the video stuff, I fought that for a long time.
Yeah.
Now that's all I'm doing. So,
Okay, so that's the only way that you're doing it now.
Well, I'm doing the audio as well, but
okay.
I'm putting more emphasis on the video because I'm recognizing like, oh, people do like watching YouTube. I'm starting to see that grow in in a month of doing it. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I have as well. Yeah, because I really don't know much about YouTube. I just know I watch these videos and that's it.
Yeah.
But I think the important thing is to tell people to subscribe. Like watching a video is good, but telling them to subscribe because it alerts them whenever you post a new video. And so your views, I mean, not that you're worrying about views per se, but you want to make sure that they're actually listening. And so the more subscribers you have, more likely the more views you're gonna have. And so yeah, I have seen a growth in my YouTube subscribers.
And I'm gonna tell you something. You just put me on game because I'm like, okay, I need to, like, I don't ask for the subscribe. I just put the shit on YouTube and let it be. But now I'm gonna start asking for that. So I appreciate you letting me know that.
Yeah.
So if y'all tuning in, just so you know, we talking about podcasting. Tori has a podcast called Tori Talks. You already know this is the art of letting go. But I'm dropping a podcasting course next week. It's called How to Create a Dope Podcast and Stay Consistent. I'm gonna put this video up that we talking right now, just so y'all can go back and hear if you just tuning in. But if you got a question, pop it in the chat. Tori, can you also please let the people know where they can find you, the podcast, and all that stuff?
You put them on the spot. So I'm on Instagram. My regular page is Miss MS Tori Michelle ESQ. And then my Tori Talks page is at Tori.talks with an S, the number 9.
Okay.
And yeah, go follow the Tori Talks page because I don't have that many followers and I need y'all to come on that page.
That's real.
I'm tired of putting it on both pages for y'all. No, I'm just
Oh man. And if y'all are interested in the course, please slide in my DM. I'll send y'all a 50% off code so you could get it, 50% off, get it for the low. But yeah, slide in my DM. I'm here. Tori's here if y'all got any questions. And man, we really appreciate y'all tuning in because we might have to bring the karaoke's back. A couple of people mentioned that they was interested in the karaoke's. So might have to.
And I know my cousin TJ, he's in here. Spy boy. Yeah. Because remember last time he kept saying, I'm going to get on. And he never came. Spy boy, I'm calling you out.
Shit, I might do one next week for my birthday. I might make that happen.
Hey.
Sure. Well, thank y'all for tuning in, and cuz you have a good night, and I appreciate you doing this. And yeah, we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Tori Talks, 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 Season 2.